Hi everybody, welcome to Friendship Shaving. I hope you're doing well. My name's Mark and it's always good to be here for the weekly shave. I have some news this week. I am expecting in the post the new safety razor from Gillette, the Gillette King Camp safety razor. I said that the wrong way around, didn't I? The King Camp Gillette safety razor. I wasn't going to buy it, but it was on the Gillette UK website for £20 plus 20% reduction plus free postage. So for £16 it will arrive on my doorstep and I'm quite looking forward to getting it, I must admit. Now, I've been tagged this week by Gary, who has a video channel called Mr. G Shave. Gary tagged me in his video of trusted standby products. Now, I use a lot of my standby products, my favourite products, in my weekly shaves anyway, so I'm not going to do a standalone video on that topic, but I'm going to include my favourites in this shave. I'm also going to show you a new razor today. So I'll put the link to Gary's videos down in the description and perhaps you'd be kind enough to check him out. Now I'm going to start by talking about my favourite pre-shave. I have tried quite a few, but really there are two that I like more than any others I've tried. I like the Cube from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and I also like the white range of pre-shave from Proraso, and this is their newest line rather than the old line. I used to quite like the old line, but I think this is much better for me. It has less menthol in it than the old line did. Now, I often don't shave with a pre-shave, but when I do, it's usually this one I go to. I find it very moisturising. And I quite like when you rub it in like this, it just primes all those bristles ready for a shave. So really, that is my go-to pre-shave. I did try quite a few at one point, and I know there's a great, there was a hair. I know there's a great many pre-shaves out there. I definitely didn't like the oils, but everyone has their favourite. This is the thing, there is something for everyone's taste. I love the Proraso white, I must admit. So the brush I'm going to be using today is my Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Starcraft. I feel this really could be a firm favourite in the den, a trusted item, because so far I'm loving it. I've already dampened it slightly, but I'll stick that in some water in a moment. You might notice that the ferrule is space blue, and today I'm matching the razor with that because I've got the Yaqi space blue scalloped bar head, and I've popped that on a chrome plated brass handle with some blue knurling. The razor blade I'm using this week is definitely one of my favourites. It is a Gillette 7 o'clock Super Platinum, the Gillette 7 o'clock Black. I find this to be a great razor blade with most razors. If I want to go something really sharp, it's the feather. Although I do like the Nassettes, I do like personas as well. There are so many razor blades that I do like, but I think the 7 o'clock Super Platinums are my favourite, to be honest. It was Voshgod for a very long time, but having had some dodgy ones, I've switched allegiance to these Gillettes. Now the soap I'm going to be using today is my Albion shaving soap from Phoenix and Beau. The red, white and blue there. I'm going to take my brush, just dip it in my water again, and we'll load up straight from the puck. There we are, so you can see what I'm doing, rather than me staring down away from the camera. So again, just like I did in my 10-minute tip, I'm going to load this for about 20 or 30 seconds. Now my brush is just a little bit dry, I can feel it. It is just dragging slightly across the soap, but it's okay. And in fact, you can see I'm not really building any lather in the soap at all, but I'm just taking off enough soap to load the brush, and I think that is probably going to be enough. I've just dipped the tips in a drop of water there. I might start putting this on my face. Now there are a couple of reasons why this soap is my favourite. It's definitely one of my trusted items. It is good soap, first and foremost. But also I love the scent. It is a real hit initially of bergamot and a touch of grapefruit. But it also has floral and herbaceous mid-notes with a lavender and a touch of patchouli. Now I know this soap is more complex than it sounds. When you read the label, it just says bergamot, lavender and grapefruit. But I know at Phoenix and Beau they work really hard on those scents. And there is always more to the soap than they let on. Right now I'm really getting a zingy bergamot. Smelling a little bit like Earl Grey, which strangely enough I don't like. Good job I'm not going to drink my soap. Now I could quite happily build my lather on my face just by using a brushing motion like this. You don't necessarily have to spray the brush and scrub like this. You know, especially if you've got really sensitive skin, it's quite enough just to brush the soap on. And I've got ample coverage there. Got ample soap in my brush. It feels so good doing it like this, but honestly, I could spend a long time doing this. What I find on video is that if I splay my brush, I get a good voluminous lather quite quickly. And that's primarily why I do it. But you don't have to do it that way. Really, if you're new to this, it's all about experimenting and finding what you like best. Now, the razor today, I used this in a week, and it is a fantastic razor. I found it to be more efficient than my Muller 106, just to give you some idea of how it shaves. It has got this coating on it, and I found that kind of sticks a little bit to the skin, in the same way that a stainless steel razor doesn't slip across the skin quite as easily as a chromed razor. It's a similar feeling to this. It doesn't really affect your shave or affect my shave, it's just something I noticed. Now the head itself is priced at $4. I think that's incredible. It's really well finished. It's really well finished. And the handle is sold separately. Because it's a brass construction, it's got a nice weightiness to the handle. It goes well with this head. There's the balance point now, you can see it's quite nicely balanced. They work very well together. Now, the handle is $16. And then with the head being $4, that's $20 for this razor. And obviously you're going to have to pay postage, which from China isn't very expensive. Not to the UK anyway. But all in all, the weight on this is 89.8 grams, so 90 grams. The razor handle is 91 millimeters, so a little bit extra with the head. You know, for the price and finish, I just don't think you can beat Yaqi products. Put it this way, I've not had a bad one. I know I haven't had many Yaqi products in the den. But I find them to be very good. Now that is really nice, really nice. And with that Pro Rasa one, it feels really moisturised and feels great. Now, I don't think I said last week, this brush is based on a vintage brush. If I did, and I'm repeating myself, well, I apologise. It's based on an old brush from the Mohawk Brush Company, which were a Canadian company. And I believe, I'm just checking back, that this is based on a Mohawk 5-341. I've never seen one in real life or even on eBay. But I do love the style of these old vintage brushes. I think they really have something. There we are, nice and easy. Oh, my soap lid's gone in my sink. There we go. Chaos. Now, I know a lot of you guys like my wallpaper. My wallpaper is now officially famous. It's been written about in a tongue-in-cheek blog written by a gentleman called Dave Hopkins, and his blog is Dave Shaves. I will put the link in the description to this video, and perhaps you can pop along. Part of his blog, just a small part of his blog, is dedicated to YouTube shaving channels, and I get a mention, as does my wallpaper. I must admit, it's very nice to be included in a blog, and I think it's wonderful that there is so much content available to us wet shavers. Whatever you're into, whether it's a straight razor, a safety razor, whatever it might be, there's content available these days. Now I can feel the blade has been on my skin. I feel, although I can't tell from looking, I feel there is a very, very slight positive edge to this razor. I should stress it's only a very, very mild feeling, but it is a comfortable shave. When I shaved with it the other day, I was BBS. Even down here on my difficult bits, that I never get BBS. It was gone, you know, so we'll see if I manage it today with this 7 o'clock black. I used a Gillette 365 stainless the other day. Oh, I tell you, it's good. Here we go. Now, although that looks very thin, I really worried about this when I was a beginner. I used to think that I had to have the amount of soap on my face that I had for my first pass. I had to have that by the time I got to my third pass. It doesn't work like that. Well, not for me anyway. But what I find is that as I go through my shave, I need a bit more cushion on the first pass and a bit more slick as I go through the second and third pass. And as you add water to your face and use a bit less soap, it builds up the slickness. So I don't know whether they discovered that by chance, by happy accident, or whether they actually knew a thing or two, these old shavers back in the day. So here we are against the grain on my neck. And there we are, that is the shave. And that is BBS, I'm telling you. Wow, that's a good shave. Really good. Now I'm not going to use my arm, I don't feel that I need to today. I'm going to go straight on with the aftershave. As you know, I don't have a lot of aftershaves, but the ones I've got I really like. I like an aftershave made for after the shave rather than an eau de toilette or an eau de cologne which has more scent in it. Now I know some of you will use a balm and then an eau de toilette or eau de cologne, but I like an aftershave. Nivea, of course, is one of my standout aftershaves, but also I love the Parasso Green, and this is what I meant when I said that my standout products, my favourites, I tend to use them week on week in the den. Now this one with the eucalyptus will go really, really well with this Albion. The reason I like the aftershaves that I've got is that they go with most things that I use, most soaps that I use. And the Nivea, well, that mixes with everything. You saw me the other week mix it with some skin bracer, and that's another great product that I really like. So I've got really 3 in the den that I love, and one that I really like is my Future Fiction. So looking for some more. But on that note, I have been enjoying the YouTube channel Wet Shaving with Angelo. I will pop a link down below, and I watched Angelo talk about his top 10 budget aftershaves the other day. Now Angelo gives out a lot of knowledge, a lot of information rather, and I like that. And yeah, there was some interesting aftershaves, some affordable aftershaves on there. His number 1 was grey flannel. I've never heard of that before, so perhaps that's an American aftershave. I don't know. So yeah, I'll be looking that up. But yeah, perhaps you might check out Angelo, and perhaps if you leave a comment, say you came from over this way. Now that is my shave. I had a fantastic shave. I'll put all the links down below, and yeah, I think next week you will probably see, fingers crossed, you will probably see the new Gillette razor. So let's hope so, eh? And you can give me your opinion on it. Now, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. All the best now. Bye-bye.